Breaking news, there has been an explosion on an oil drilling platform in the Gulf of Mexico.
We're receiving reports of a massive fire aboard an offshore rig located in the Gulf.
At least 11 workers remain missing and several others are injured.
So on 20th of April 2010, a catastrophic event shook the Gulf of Mexico. The Deepwater Horizon disaster claimed 11 lives, spilled 4.9 million barrels or worth more than 300 Olympic swimming pools of oil and caused over 62 billion in damage. What if this tragedy could have been prevented? And this video explores how thorough accident investigation and root cause analysis could have changed everything. So hello health and safety professional, welcome to Vocational Safety. My name is Roshan Rajesh and I have over 15 years of experience in health and safety. I am certified safety professional and also Canadian registered safety professional and chartered member of IOSH, also qualified trainer and assessor. So on this channel, we simplify complex workplace safety topics into practical and easy to follow steps, empowering you to create a safer and healthier work environment. So whether you are an experienced professional or just starting out, our mission is to equip you with the knowledge and tools to enhance safety in your workplace. And also if you are preparing for IOSH, NEBOSH, CSP or CRSP exams, then you are in the right place because these videos are designed to support your success. So in today's video, we will cover the key aspect of accident investigation to help you understand how to conduct effective investigations and prevent future workplace incidents. And here is what we will dive into today. So we will start with introduction to accident investigation, where we will define what accident investigation is and why it's crucial for workplace safety. And then we'll go to types of incidents, from accidents and near misses to dangerous occurrences. We will explain you the different types of incident you need to investigate. Then we'll also understand the investigation process. We'll take you through a step-by-step guide to investigate incident, including data collection, root cause analysis, and developing actionable recommendation. And then we'll understand the level of investigation, because we'll discuss how to determine the appropriate level of investigation based on the severity and type of the incident. We'll also look at the case study of the Deepwater Horizon disaster, where we'll explore the lessons learned from one of the biggest industrial disaster in history, and how through accident investigation, how it could have been prevented, right? And after that, the next section will be of frequently asked questions, where we will answer some of the most frequently asked questions about accidental investigation. So first thing first, what is accident investigation? It's the systematic process of determining what happened, why it happened, and how we can stop it from happening again. But here is the key. Accident investigation is all about prevention and not pointing out fingers. A great example of what can go wrong when incidents aren't properly investigated is the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. In 2010, an explosion on BP's oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico killed 11 workers and triggered one of the worst environmental disasters ever. But guess what? That explosion could have been avoided if earlier safety warnings and smaller incidents had been investigated seriously. So why is accident investigation so important? Let's break it down. So the main goal is to stop the same mistake from happening again. In the case of Deepwater Horizon disaster, there were warnings, issues with the wells, cementing and blowout preventers that weren't properly investigated. If those smaller incidents have been addressed, the explosion might never have happened. So what are the legal and compliance requirements? So accident investigation isn't just good practice, it's often legal requirement, right? Many safety bodies like OSHA mandate thorough investigation, and in the Deepwater Horizon case, the lack of proper investigation before the disaster to lead hefty legal consequences and regulatory reforms. Improved safety culture is also important. When employees sees what every accident and near miss is taken seriously, it builds trust. In contrast, ignoring warning signs like BP did with Deepwater Horizon can erode safety culture and lead to catastrophic failures. So let's understand types of incident. So accidents generally are defined as like those incidents that result into harm to a person or damage to a property. And then there are some near misses. So near misses are similar to accident, but those are without any sort of injuries or damage to property. And then there are serious incidents such as dangerous occurrences. So these incidents are like equipment failure, explosion, or structural collapse that must be reported even if no one is injured. And then there are work-related ill health. So illnesses or conditions developed due to work, such as hearing loss, dermatitis, respiratory issues from chemical exposures. So these are some basic definitions that one should know while doing incident investigation. Now let's understand investigation process. So it's a step-by-step process. We'll outline the basic steps of this investigation. The process starts with immediate response because you have to ensure that everybody is safe when this incident happened. So you have to prioritize the safety of all individuals to prevent any further harm. You have to secure the scene, make sure you have preserved the scene to prevent any tampering or the loss of critical evidences. And then you have to notify relevant parties and quickly inform management, safety personnel and emergency responders about the incident. And then you have to start the process of actual investigation by data collection, right? In data collection, you initially observe and conduct, swift visual assessment and document and condition right after the incident. And then you can also conduct interviews to gather detailed statement from witnesses and involved individual using structured questions. Then also you can gather some physical evidences in this step, such as you can take photos, review CCTV footages, collect documents like equipment logs or safety procedures. After collecting data, next step is to analyze that data, right? So in this step you identify root causes. Use analysis like such as 5 whys or fishbone diagram to pinpoint the underlying causes of accident. Then you analyze contributing factors such as look at the environmental, organizational and behavioral factor that contributed to the incident. You also develop finding in this step where summarizing key findings and categorizing the different causes into direct and indirect causes as well as root causes, right? And then based on that you develop recommendations, right? The next step is to develop recommendations, which is actionable safety measures. You can propose specific corrective actions like improving procedures, providing new safety equipment or changing work practices. And you can address root causes into this section where you can focus on recommendations that addresses the fundamental root level issues identified during this analysis. And you can also engage stakeholders, involve employees, supervisors and management in reviving recommendation to ensure feasibility and effectiveness. Then you can implement and follow whatever recommendations you got. You can implement them and then follow it by executing the plan, ensure the approved recommendations are put into practice, allocating resources and setting timelines. Then you have to monitor this implementation by regularly reviewing the flow and how well the new measures are being followed and assess their effectiveness in preventing reoccurrence, right? So continuous feedback and adjustment can be done by encouraging and ongoing feedback from employees and adjust the safety measures as necessary to improve their effectiveness. Now let's understand level of investigations. So level of investigations. So not all incidents require the same level of investigation. How deep you go depends on severity. There could be a minimal investigation required in case of a small incidents like a cut or scrape, or there might be requirement of low, medium or high level of investigations. Like larger the incidents require more in-depth reviews, interviews and possibly external experts. Now let's move to quick fire section where we tackle some of the most important accident investigation techniques that every safety professional should know. So here we need to understand the dominoes first, right? So what are the dominoes here? So Henrik proposed that every accident is result of sequential chain of factors, and if one of these factors or dominoes is removed, the accident can be prevented. So the original 5 dominoes in this theory are: number 1 is social environment and inherited behavior. Right? This is the first domino. So this refers to an inherited traits or the influence of person's environment. For example, lack of safety training culture in the workplace. So this was first domino. The second domino, if we talk about, it's a fault of a person or human action or unsafe behavior that contributed to the incident. For example, an improper use of equipment or being careless. So that is second. Third domino is of unsafe act or unsafe condition. So the direct cause of an accident, like a faulty machine or hazardous behavior, for example, a worker bypassing a safety protocol or a machine malfunction, that is unsafe act or unsafe condition. Now, fourth domino is of accident. So the event where damage or injury occurs. For example, an employee getting their hand caught in a machine, that is an accident, right? So that is domino number 4. Now, number 5 domino is of injury, the outcome, which is typically the injury or damage caused by the accident. For example, broken hand or property damage. Now, to explain this, now let's break down a real life offshore drilling disaster using the domino effect. So each event was like a falling domino leading to the next until the final catastrophe occurred. So the first domino of social environment and inherited behavior. This first domino represents the broader culture and environment. So in this case, there was intense pressure to speed up operations and reduce costs, as we talked earlier. Now, safety procedures and critical checks were often deprioritized in the favor of meeting deadlines. And this created a workplace culture where shortcuts were encouraged and safety was often seen as obstacle to efficiency. In the second domino of fault of person, this falls under individual actions, right? So workers on the rig made decision to bypass safety procedure, vital tests on critical equipment were skipped, and alarms indicating dangerous conditions were ignored or misinterpreted. So these human errors significantly increase the risk of disaster. So the third domino is of unsafe act and unsafe condition. So in the third domino, this is the direct cause, right? So mechanical failure combined with unsafe practices created a hazardous situation. So the key safety equipment such as the blowout preventer was faulty, but due to the culture of rushing, it wasn't tested thoroughly. Meanwhile, rising pressure in the well created an unsafe condition that went unaddressed. And that's why the fourth domino accident that occurred, right? So in the fourth domino, the explosion happened with safety equipment failing to function as intended. Oil and gas surged up the well, triggering a massive explosion on the rig. The accident caused widespread destruction and immediate loss of life. So the final domino is injury. So this is the result, right? So this wasn't just about the tragic loss of workers' lives, but also the severe environmental and economic consequences that followed. Large-scale spill occurred, causing long-lasting damage to the surrounding ecosystem as well as impacting local industries for years to come. So when we apply the domino effect to this offshore disaster, we see how each factor, from organizational pressure to human error to unsafe conditions, led to a catastrophic outcome. If just one domino had been prevented from falling, the entire disaster could have been avoided. So the 5 technique is a simple but powerful tool used in accident investigation to dig deeper into root cause of an incident. It was first developed by Sakichi Toyoda for the Toyota production system, and it remains widely used in safety management, including in accident investigation, due to its effectiveness. So how this 5 technique works? The method involves asking whys 5 times. Right? Or as many times as needed depending on the situation. So to explore the cause and effect relationship of a problem, the idea is that by continually asking why, investigator can move beyond the obvious or the immediate cause and uncover the root cause of an accident. So in the Deepwater Horizon disaster, investigators used this method to understand why the incident occurred. So let's break it down by asking 5 whys. So why did the explosion happen? Because the blowout preventer failed. Let's go to the next one. Why did the blowout preventer fail? Because of a faulty seal. Now, why was the seal faulty? Because it wasn't properly tested before use. Now, next question is, why wasn't it tested? Because the team was under pressure to speed up drilling operations. Why was the team under pressure to speed up drilling operations? Because BP was behind the schedule and facing significant financial losses. And there you have it. By asking why 5 times, you uncover the real root cause of the disaster, which is pressure to reduce costs and finish the job faster, which led to compromised safety. If the investigation had stopped at the first or second why, the corrective actions might have been surface level fixes, like reinforcing the cement process, right? But by getting to the core issue, management's cost cutting culture, you can develop long-term solutions that go beyond just fixing technical problems. So in conclusion, as we have seen, accident investigations are not just about finding out what happened, they're about preventing future incidents. If the smaller incidents have safety warnings had been investigated thoroughly at Deepwater Horizon, we might have avoided that disaster entirely. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please do subscribe and share it with others in the safety community. And if you have been part of accident investigation yourself, share your story in the comment below. We can all learn from each other, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay safe.